which is superb judging from our 5 judges, and what an experienced judging panel we've got with Suzanne Barup, Thomas Lang, Maria Colliander, Isabel Jude, Isabel Wessels, Henning Lehrmann, and Mariette Sanders van Gainswinkel make up the 7 judges for this Grand Prix. Justina Vanagate next to go for Lithuania, 31-year-old, with Nabab, the 8-year-old gelding, the youngest horse in the field. And this is a Belgian warm blood by Sir Donovan, 8 years old, and this is owned by Justina Vanagate as well. Nabab, 8 years old. Watching him at the first horse inspection yesterday, I suddenly had to reach to my phone to hear or believe what I was hearing. 8 years old at Grand Prix and at a European Championships. Quite remarkable and an amazing feat. Great to have Lithuania represented here. She is riding as an individual. Just a little bit green in the way that he went from his rein back into the trot work again. But, you know, when you consider that he is a young horse, and in those movements, these take years. Transitions take years of practice over and over and over again. I'm not talking hundreds. I'm talking more thousands and hundreds and thousands of transitions to make these horses into brilliant. There is that confirmation, in fact, from FE Insight, which we'll be having throughout the week. The youngest horse in the competition is Nabab, 8 years old. Great to have them on board, actually, FE Insight. The team... So the team that bring us those facts, FEI Insights, it is amazing, and I love those sort of facts. I'm sure you do too. 8 years old. Quite brilliant. Really good steps in the Passage and the Piaffe. Do you know what? Lithuania, well done her. She's, you know, from a slight minority country that wouldn't have dressage as a very popular sport. And that's not being mean at all. Mistakes in the beginning, but who can blame him? Mistakes in the beginning of his 2-time changes, but she was very good to get him back to then correct that line of 2-time changes. He can be 100% forgiven for that. Again, a small mistake. Just a few 1-time changes at the end. You talk about dressage like you talk about show jumping. Is it a clear round? No, it hasn't been a clear round. How many times can you come out of the dressage and think it was a clear round? There were no mistakes. Not very often. Unless you're Isabelle Vert or the likes of Charlotte Desjardins, of course. But then you speak to them even. When you talk to a gold medalist, there are always mistakes. There are always things that could have been improved. And this horse has kept himself together in the 1-time changes. He gets a very big pat from Justina at the end of his line of ones. And watch him here as an 8-year-old, probably with 4 years of training inside his body and mind. Amazing. If you haven't written the name down, Nabab, make sure you do. Put it on a post-it note, put it on your fridge, and refer back to it in a few years' time. But keep an eye on this horse. Super. He's got a very nice way of holding himself out in front. Really trying, doesn't matter, and out, good. You cannot knock this horse's confidence. He is definitely a horse for the future. What a good fella, what a good boy. How proud they must be, how proud she must be. The youngest horse in the field as the Lithuanian flag is proudly raised and waved. Very well done to Justina Vanagaita with the 8-year-old Nabab. If you haven't written it down because you can't spell it, it's N-A-B-A-B. Remember it. We are going to see a lot more of him. And a cheeky little wink down the camera. What a great shot. Brilliant job. It'll be interesting to get their score. It'll be very interesting to see where she goes with that. And just how proud she must be of him. Just being calculated the final couple of scores.
And the scores.
So here comes the score for these two, and it's 66.227. 66.227, ranging from 63 up to 67.391. Nabab goes into 12th place, just outside the top 10. I wouldn't be at all disappointed with that, not one little bit, because he, for me, tried his absolute heart out in the arena. A horse that will have done very, very little in his career. And as an 8-year-old coming here, first European Championships for not only the horse, but also for Justina as well. And coming out with a 66%. They stepped up to Grand Prix level this year only, back in April. And in 5 months at Grand Prix, they are at the European Championships. Incredible. Very well done to them. We move now from Lithuania to